5 municipalities in the Northern Cape have failed to honor their payment agreements with Eskom. So as a result, the municipalities will have the electricity supply interrupted this morning, we're told. Eskom says despite repeated attempts, the 5 municipalities failed to reach a resolution on payment. For more on this, let's bring in Eskom spokesperson Sikonathi Mantshantsha, who joins us now via video line. And Mr. Mantshantsha, thanks for always making time. So how much are we talking about here?
Good morning, Ayanda. Good morning, Newsroom Africa. The municipalities owe in total outstanding debt of 273 million rand. These are the 5 municipalities in the Northern Cape. In total, Eskom in that province is owed 1.9 billion rand in outstanding debt. But I'm quite happy, Ayanda, to inform you that yesterday, when the municipalities knew that action is imminent, 4 of them came to the party and paid about 12 million rand in total, and agreed to new new payment agreements, which has averted the action. But one will indeed has been switched off this morning already, the Magareng municipality in the town of Warrington.
Right, and I see they owe about 65 million rand or so. I mean, I'm interested to find out how the strategy is faring. On the face of it, considering what you've just shared with us, it appears that it does work. But we also know that by and large, South Africans, humans in general, are quite adaptable beings, right? It's very plausible that people will eventually get used to the idea of electricity being interrupted, and that doesn't see municipalities necessarily being forced to cough up. In the long run, has Eskom thought of a way to ensure that even municipalities that eventually come to the party are in fact held accountable?
I must tell you now that it would be very difficult for businesses in those towns to operate without electricity between 6 in the morning and 8 in the evening. That should help Eskom on its own to hold those officials accountable. And indeed, it's an undesirable situation because most of them do pay their municipalities for the electricity, but the money just never reaches Eskom because the municipalities are Eskom's customers. Have we thought of something to hold them accountable? Yes, on a daily basis, the threat that they will not have a supply should they not take care of their accounts is the one thing. But we urge the people, the residents in those municipalities, to hold their elected officials accountable, because actually paying for municipal services and the municipality looking after its the administration of municipal affairs is the duty of elected officials. The people have to help us to hold them accountable, because should that not happen, they will indeed not have electricity.
Yeah, and I understand perhaps you're not necessarily an expert on governance issues, but what do we actually mean by that when we say that residents must help in holding some officials accountable on a very practical level, where already residents are starting on a back foot because of various issues that put them in vulnerable positions? How does any residents, for instance, in Alexandra, hold their officials accountable for paying off debt to Eskom?
A great question. Fortunately for local government, every councillor represents a certain area, a certain ward, a geographic location. The people in that area know who they voted for, and it is those people who make decisions about paying for services, about delivering services to the people, including deciding what to do with the budget of that municipality. The people who elect those councillors and those officials have to knock on the doors of their councillors and say, excuse me, why don't we have electricity? Why have you in the municipality not paid for the electricity?
All right. Another part of the strategies that you responded to, especially when it comes to the grid being overloaded, is this phenomenon of load reduction. I hope many South Africans know by now what that means. I'm interested to find out whether there's any empirical evidence that this strategy is working. My understanding is that it was introduced to try and stave off the burden caused by illegal connections. Is that right?
Absolutely. During the first month when this was implemented in May, we saw about a 60% reduction in exploding transformers and mini substations, which I must tell you, it has cost Gauteng alone R1 billion a year to repair those transformers and those mini substations. We have had a reduction during the first month alone of 60% in the damages, and we definitely, when the numbers come out audited, there will be a significant improvement. The benefit here, Ayanda, is not for Eskom only. To repair that infrastructure costs money, and who pays? It's the customer. Unfortunately, the few that actually pay will be burdened with more because you go back to them and increase the price of electricity in order to pay for the transformers that are broken by the people who are stealing electricity.
I am out of time, but very quickly, if I can sneak this in, are there any municipalities that are at risk of also having their power cut because of unpaid debt? Can you tell us, perhaps, just at the top of your head?
Yes, definitely. There are municipalities in the Free State, including the Maluti Apofung and the Machabeng municipality, and in Mpumalanga there are municipalities including Likwa and the one with Nelspruit. I'm forgetting the new name of Nelspruit, where that municipality is. And indeed, in Limpopo, there are municipalities that are at risk of being cut off.
All right, let's leave it there. Thank you very much for always making time. Sikonathi Mantshantsha is the spokesperson for Eskom, the utility appearing there to be cracking the whip on some municipalities that are failing to do right by their residents.